As we cultivate kindness, we're also deepening in our relationship with ourselves and others. We're learning to be a good friend. And of course, there are varying levels of friendship. So with kindness practice, we're really learning how to balance this universal connection that we can open into with our personal sense of boundaries and autonomy. We can be in relationship with people that we choose to deepen with. And we're really wishing people well with genuine warmth, authenticity. We're wishing ourselves well. Also in relationships, as we deepen into relationships, we learn that conflict is unavoidable. People make mistakes, and we make mistakes. So with kindness, we're able to reconcile these mistakes and these harmful moments that happen with warmth, with connection. So it doesn't mean that things are perfect. It means that we can stay connected in this moment and present with what's happening. And with kindness, we can say, no, that's not okay. No, thank you, not right now. And this is what my 2-year-old is learning right now, because he's very good at saying no, but he's very mean sometimes. No, and with aggression and meanness. And so kindness really does say, okay, no, thank you. Again, not right now. Sharon Salzberg says, to send loving kindness does not mean that we approve or condone all actions. It means that we can see clearly actions that are incorrect or unskillful and still not lose the connection. So how do we cultivate kindness? We can simply invite to us opportunities that we can practice simple acts of kindness over and over again. It doesn't have to be huge acts. It can just be simple moments where, oh, there's an opportunity to be kind. For me, I use connecting on the phone with people in customer service. A lot of times they are trained to be nice, and niceness doesn't necessarily mean kind. So a lot of times it's inauthentic, and I can feel that, and it kind of rubs me and irritates me. So I noticed this because right then there's that separation, there's not connection. So when I notice this, I do the best that I can to say, okay, wait, let me see if I can genuinely be kind. It doesn't mean that I don't say no, right? Because I do need something or something's happening that I need help with. And I can be forceful and firm in a very kind way. So connecting with each other and still being able to maintain this sense of warmth and connection no matter what's happening. We also can use loving kindness phrases. So may I be happy. May you be loving and kind. So that we can incline over and over again for kindness to arise. Creating space for kindness to radiate everywhere. And by doing this over and over again, we do change our habits. And our brain changes and our bodies change. And our baseline can increase so that we're kind in more moments throughout the day. Another example of kindness, these small moments of kindness, is when I had Xander, my baby, in a carrier when he was little, and I was in the grocery store, and I had a full cart of groceries, and he started getting cranky and started getting fussy, and I was running out of time. I could tell that this wasn't going to be very pleasant for much longer. And before I knew it, somebody just came over, this guy came over and started unloading my groceries for me. It wasn't out of obligation. It was just a sense of, okay, this is what's in this moment. And he was very kind. He was very generous and kind. Didn't need anything in return. So in a sense, kindness is immeasurable, and it can be abundant and not needing anything in return. It's got a quality of selflessness. Our smaller sense of self isn't in control. It isn't running the show. And so that's another way that we can learn how to cultivate it, is by recognizing when our smaller sense of self starts to drive. And we all have particular patterns around when we incline towards kindness, what comes up. So, like Sharon Salzberg said in her Loving Kindness book, we're relearning our loveliness. So it's not that we don't have kindness already, it's just that we are recognizing when we are not kind. And when we're mean, okay, maybe there's some emotions that need to be felt. Maybe there's fear, anger, judgment that are arising right now. So again, Helen Schirmer says, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. So fear might be one of the ways that you have learned to protect yourself. And with loving kindness, if you can continue to just incline over and over, a mind filled with loving kindness, fear cannot last for very long. It just evaporates pretty quickly. And I learned this when, at one point in my practice, I had a lot of terror. And I'd wake up in the middle of the night, and terror was just like one of my most immediate experiences. And I started to incline right away towards loving kindness over and over again. And sooner or later, I really got good at it. And fear, it can't take hold in the same way when loving kindness is there. And so it was very freeing that we do have the potential to train our minds in this way. And with kindness, anger begins to melt, and it turns into discriminating awareness and wisdom, so that we do know those moments where we need to say no, and say no thank you with kindness. Judgment, so we can learn to recognize judgment more quickly. And I had a teacher, Eugene Cash, tell me that its judgment is the superego's way of keeping our small sense of self intact. It's like the ego's last stand. So judgment is really good at positioning us over and under each other. And so this does create that barrier, that lack of connection. And kindness arises when we can sense into the connection. And so with any of these, fear, anger, judgment, if we can simply relax into the best we can the pain of the separation that this causes, then that alone can start to incline us towards kindness, because genuinely we all want to be happy. We all want to be well. We all want to feel this connection and belonging that is possible through kindness practice. And of course, we're aiming for presence and kindness, not perfection. So there are going to be moments where we make mistakes and have conflict. And so with kindness, we're aiming to be present with this. And that, presence actually is one of the friendliest things that we can do for ourselves and for each other. That when we can stay connected in this way, even when there's conflict, this radiates everywhere and makes a difference. Our mirror neurons can help other people's mirror neurons, and together we hopefully can deepen into this friendship and kindness that we all genuinely, deeply, when we can get in touch with it, want. And people can feel that, and it makes a difference. So Maya Angelou, she says, I've learned that people will forget what you said, and people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And we can feel the intimacy and the authenticity when it's there. Sharon Salzberg, again, she says, loving kindness does not mean that we denigrate ourselves in any situation in order to uphold other people's happiness. Authentic intimacy is not brought about by denying our own desire to be happy in unhappy difference to others, nor by denying others in narcissistic difference to ourselves. Loving kindness means equality, oneness, wholeness. To truly walk the way, to avoid the extremes of addiction and self-hatred, we must walk in friendship with ourselves as well as all beings.